Hi, I'm River Knight. I'm one of the co-founders here at Developing Australian Communities. I wanted to give you a few top tips and reminders about making your expo experience in your space the best it can be. We'll have a few bits and pieces and tips for you around this, but some of the key things that I always tell everybody is think about your interaction style, your space, and how you use that space. The things that are in that space, and is there stuff to interact with? Some of the barriers that people often create unintentionally. And think about some of the fun stuff like raffles or scavenger hunts, things that interact and encourage people to participate in your space. You can have interesting things that people can do in your space, which are fun and get people's attention. And that's a great way to break the ice. So in terms of interaction, think about how you're presenting. Are you sitting behind a plain desk with nothing much on it, looking very tired and bored and expecting people to turn up? Or are you standing there with a smile on your face when people walk past and say, "Hi, how are you? Hope you're having a great day." Think about the space. So how are you using that space? Are you closing the space in and having a table across the front of it? Or are you maybe putting the tables to the side and making it a space that people can walk into? So of course, we need to socially distance and things like that. But think about how that space looks from the outside. Then think about what's in my space that people can interact with. Is there some fun stuff I can have for people to interact with? Do I have some freebies? Do I give away some merchandise? Do I have some toys there? Or is there some funny, quirky, really innovative thing there that people can just play with or try out in a safe way that allows people to go, "Oh, what's that? I want to have a look at that." And then that's a great icebreaker. Think about barriers. So barriers for interacting with people may be things like having a table all the way across the front of your expo space that creates a physical barrier and avoids people from being able to just approach you. Think about colors. They can be a barrier to some people. Think about noise. Think about the way you're presenting. Do you come across with a smile on your face? Or when I look at your booth, do I find a couple of staff talking to each other incredibly in depth and not really looking like they want to talk to me as a visitor? And as a visitor, do I feel like I have to interrupt your conversation to get your attention, to please tell me about your service? So think about the barriers that you can sometimes unknowingly create that make it hard for visitors to interact with you, because the visitors that interact with exhibitors the best are visitors that are drawn into a space. They interact with an exhibit. Those exhibitors that sit there and don't put a lot of thought into it, don't really interact well, usually have the most difficulty. And they'll have a bad experience at the expo. They may not get a lot of leads because I look at this expo space and I see all these welcoming, happy exhibit spaces. And then I see yours, which is a bit boring. And I see staff that are interacting and I kind of feel like I'm interrupting them by talking to them. And there's nothing really there that makes them stand out. And I'm not really sure what you do because you haven't really, communicated that well. So think about that. Think about how you can do that really well. And if you need some help, have a chat with us. We do have some services available where we can charge a small fee to help with some of that creation of content. But of course, that needs to be done ahead of time. So think about it in advance, because when you're printing things, getting things made, it does take a little while to get here. Think about some of the other ways that people can be involved in your service during the expo and even follow up. You could have some raffles, some giveaways, some competitions. Think about what you might be able to do to make people connect with you. And of course, have your information there available to give to people. So as a top tip reminder, think about your interaction style. Think about your use of that space. Think about the way that you present to the people walking past. Think about barriers that you may be creating and barriers that you could remove. And then think about ways to engage with people through activities, raffles, things that you might follow up with, and things that you might draw on the day. Think about ways that you may be able to extend your experience as an exhibitor by maybe doing a performance or something in the community zone in the centre. Think about those sorts of things because they're the things that wrap up and create a great exhibition space. I'll see you at the expo, and make sure you check out all the information on our website to really make that experience really beneficial for your service provider business and of course for the participants that are looking for good service providers to connect with. I'm River Knight. I'll see you at the expo.